Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I'm posting a video in response to a comment. Someone wanted to see my tractors up close. So we're going to go ahead and get personal with that. And I'm going to tell you what I love and hate about all three of my tractors. As you can see, they don't move from these spots because our Predator load did not allow for tractor use on our uneven terrain. And I hate losing birds. So I'm going to go over the design, the space, what I use them for, and how I keep predators the heck out of them so that I can go down to living birds every time I visit my tractors. The first two tractors that I'm actively using right now for extra cockerel storage and grow out, they are both 8 foot by 6 foot and they're walk-in height. Because it didn't take me long to realize having the ability to walk into your tractor is so much more convenient and easy for the day-to-day stuff versus a tractor that you can't get into. Whether you're checking your birds, whether you want a good visual of all the birds involved, doing the feed, the water, or that final catch day, think about what you need the tractor to do and if you need to walk into it or not. And I much prefer my height or a little taller. And that also provides a little more roost space if you have older birds in there that do want to use a roost. There's nowhere to put a roost in a low squat tractor. Walk-in height, I feel, is definitely where it's at. So over top of these two, it has a commercial grade roof lining. Think of Walmart's, Lowe's, all those big flat stores. This is the membrane they use underneath their roofing material, and this stuff lasts forever. Quite a while. We used flathead screws to secure it. I haven't power washed these at all, and this is 5 years. This one still has its old tarp. It's torn inside. You don't get much time at all from a tarp, no matter how heavy duty they claim it is. Tarps, that's temporary. If you want something more permanent, look at commercial materials. Stuff that'll last. Really happy with that roof membrane. A close option to the roof membrane is going to be your old billboard vinyl and stuff like that. Something thicker, something sturdier, something sun resistant. Because out here in the elements, your material needs to last. All of the lumber is treated, and these tractors are almost 8 years old now. They're green. They're starting to show their age, but the lumber's still sturdy. Now, in this 8 by 6 spacing, I'm okay going as high as 6 mature-sized birds for chickens. This one only has 2. This one has 4. And I started with 5 and 5. And then as people need a boy, or if I need a boy, or if I want to try a different boy, I pull one out. And I didn't really change anything because when you have boys at this age, these guys are right at 7 months old. If I change anything, it's going to cause a fight. So as I put them in here is as they stay until they move on to a new situation. All the wire outside of the tractor, that's all hardware cloth. That prevents most predators, and I say most because we don't have bear, so I don't have to worry about bear. A bear could certainly rip this right off, but I don't have to worry about that. My concern is raccoon, possum, weasel, mink, fox, coyote, and a couple of species of hawk and owl. It's all I have to worry about keeping out, and you guys in bear territory, I hope everything's electrified. Electricity will stop a bear. Screws and washers, welded wire, that's not stopping a bear. So these tractors out in our field ranging, we did the wheel design set into the wood. It was not a lift and lower fancy kit. And even if we had the lift and lower fancy wheel kit, the dips in the ground would still provide predators with access. So when we parked these, we skirted them with more hardware cloth and hog panels and strategically placed stones. Nothing has penetrated these since they've been here. And I want to show you real quick where our predators are. Right there. 45 feet away, we have a creek. That creek is a predator highway, and I have a storm damaged gate. That's not going to keep anything out. Everything can just come waltzing over here, and they can hop that back perimeter fence if they want to. But between the hardware cloth, the frequently placed fat-headed screws, the skirting, these guys are as safe as anyone else on our farm. So next we're going to take a walk inside, and then I'll show you my big fancy tractor, which is also rotting in place. All right, let's go ahead and walk in here and see the rest of the details. And I opted to come in this one because it has more boys, and I kind of want to show their temperament too when I come in here in spring. During breeding season, what do you guys think? Anybody want to fight with my boot? No one? Excellent. I will leave you alone and back up. That's exactly what I wanted to see, and so I reward them with no action. I'm not going to bother them at all while I'm here. So the wheel design, we thought we were pretty slick. We built in the wheels, and the gap from the ground and the clearance, it's about 1.5 inches. What can fit through 1.5 inch gap? Mice, rats, snakes, and depending on the terrain, a young fox, young raccoon, young coyote, because they'll totally dig it out a little more to gain that access. So that was why we skirted and parked them, to use them as flex space, because even just that little bit, that was enough to show the design flaw. You want a full-on seal all the way around your tractor with a skirt, in case your terrain varies a little bit, like natural ground will do. I know. There's 2 roost bars in here. One is flat and wide, in case it's cold. One's tall and skinny. Both of these are 2x4s. But they get a choice of what their favorite one is. Now this height here, it's about 30 inches or so until we get to the brace board. And the side brace board has PVC conduit to hold the wire. We use zip ties. These are outdoor rated zip ties, and as you can see from the mold and fungal growth, they've been on there for a while. But they're outdoor rated and they have not seen sunlight. So when I grab the end of this and I twist it around, it has not gone brittle at all. This is 5 years old. Now back when we were using tarps, the front part had the hardware cloth and the back part of just the hog panel. This was tarp that we replaced with the membrane. That commercial membrane, not brittle. Perfect. Old. Yeah, look at your commercial stuff and get the right membranes and stop using the brittle parts that don't last. Well, hey, buddy. You coming to say hi? Why are you jumping up on here to give me attention? Can I pet you? Hey. Doesn't want pets. Just showing himself. He is the pen favorite, though. Why'd you jump up if you didn't want to say hi? Huh? Are you a good boy? That was cute. I love it when the boys say, hey, acknowledge me, but then they turn right around and say, actually, no, don't. Because that's way better than the alternative of them thinking they can have something to say about me. Yeah. You want a healthy respect with your birds. They can be a little forward with you, but not by much. Because every once in a while, you have to be a little forward with them. On evaluation day, and I pick these boys up and I handle all of their nooks and crannies, I am being totally invasive towards them. And I am showing a lack of respect when I do that to them. So I try to keep it fair and easy. And then I expect the same thing in return. And I look for intelligence, mild dispositions, with enough vigor to do their job and keep flock order. Because these boys, if they ever end up in a breeding pen, they're running the show when I'm not in that barn. Whatever flock drama unfolds, these guys, they're in charge of managing it. So make sure you keep enough options to pick a really good boy. That one. Even though he has off color. His temperament. Pretty good. Now, whenever you stitch hardware cloth together, you want to use something like wire that's weather resistant zip ties. Close up everything you can. Because, for example, a raccoon, they only need about 3 inches of access to gain access and go on a rampage. Weasels, they only need 1.5 inches. What would you do if a weasel came in here? Well, it depends. While a cockerel is going to guard his flock, he can't do anything at night because he can't see anything. At night, if there's no visual, he cannot do his job. It's your building that does the overnight work, or it's your guardian dogs, or it's whatever other resources you're using to keep your flock safe at night. The roosters, they can only do their job during the day. As soon as it's dark, there's not much they can do. Alright, let's look at the big tractor. It's my favorite. It's beautiful. It's the 2.0 version after we built these two. So the third tractor is superior in design and longevity because it has a metal roof. And a metal roof, when screwed down really well, that's some lasting power too. And this tractor I have surrounded by dog kennel panels to create a 20 by 20 space around the 9 by 6 tractor. And I use it kind of for overflow. Whatever I have going on over there in the white rooster coop or the green pellet pen, my overflow ends up over here. And it was most recently used for wintering over Muscovy males. And they ate everything down to the dirt. And then we realized the ducks were causing a drainage issue that was stemming from their pond. And recently I reflocked the ducks so we can make over this entire area. And we're going to start by installing drainage over on the far side of the kennel panels to drain this off, to dry this out, so that I can use it again. I'm not using it until it's ready, because moisture, generally, unless it's a duck, it's a bad thing to have around your birds. Waterfowl are the only birds who can deal with extra moisture well. Any other bird species cannot deal with moisture well. So your drainage also needs to be really good to keep them above the muck and the mire. And what I have here is muck and algae and crud. So we're going to fix all that before I use it again. But let's get a little closer and look at the actual design features of this tractor. Now this position also has nylon poultry netting above to prevent birds of prey from going in there and snatching what they want, and to also prevent escape of turkeys, because once they're teenage delinquents and their heritage breed, they will fly right up over 6 foot easy. And the kennel panels are exactly 6 foot tall. But let's look at what's different between the metal roof tractor option and the more temporary membrane roof option, as well as the shape. So we did the wheel design the same on the 9x6 as we did for the 8x6, and we still had that same 1.5 inch rise that could allow some predation to occur. So this tractor also ended up parked, but the only skirt is the outer perimeter kennel panels, and so far we've been super lucky. But what we essentially did was build a box for the wheel and run a carriage bolt through and bolt it in place, so if we ever did need to move it, we can. So if we totally change the design of how we want these arranged, we can put them wherever we need to. It has a flat top to better accommodate the metal, but you could put a slight bend in there if you wanted to. We did not seal up the little gaps of the roofing material, and that's because it's less than 1.5 inches. Everything else is hardware cloth. And for the winter usage, we wrapped it in 6mm plastic to create a wind block to protect the birds that were in here. This one also has 2 roosting bars at 2 different heights. There's the other roosting bar. And there's a little ladder to get them up to the first bar so they can jump to the second bar. My head doesn't touch the top. That's pretty cool. Over in the corner, I have an eye bolt so that I can clip a carabiner, so that I can hang a feeder or a drinker. And I have this on each side, put right into the corner brace that helps preserve rigidity when the tractor is in motion. Even though it hasn't moved in over 5 years, it's still pretty sturdy. And these bars definitely protect the structure and keep it performing, even in its parked location. This one got lumber securing the roof instead of PVC, because the roof is forever. I That metal roof isn't going anywhere. So as long as that treated lumber holds up, we're good to go. So for this season, my plan is to till up the flattened out soil, reseed it, and when I put new birds in, they will have the benefit of forage. Maybe it'll be these boys if I group them together so I can use these two pens for something different. I don't know. The whole concept is to have it available for flex space, because apparently that big giant 1,600 square foot barn isn't big enough for me. Plus the other flex space, pullet pen, and rooster coop. That over there is our greenhouse. We're in southwestern Ohio, and we've had a lemon tree for 4 years that we haven't killed yet. We have yet to actually get a lemon from it, but we haven't killed it. So, greenhouse, rooster coop, pullet pen, garage, house, garden shed, poultry tractor I'm gonna sell because I don't need it. Doesn't make sense for my use. Barn, stock tank, swimming pool, and totally overgrown raised beds because we're gonna rip out this whole area and do it again and move all the dirt somewhere else. So I guess if I can offer advice on getting your homestead started, be prepared to make a whole bunch of mistakes that you're gonna fix later as you learn better. This whole thing is a learning adventure. Don't be too hard on yourself. Do the best that you know how to do. Everything else, it's gonna sort itself out from one season to the next as you refine your methods and get better at what you're doing. Then we also need to figure out what we're doing this 1.5 acres back yonder with a run-in shed that we've historically used for pigs. Haven't decided what I'm doing there. But that's where we tried out our tractors for the first go around before we realized the design flaws they had with that little 1.5 inches of ground clearance versus the terrain. I feel like if you're going to use tractors, you should probably have some welded wire measured out that you can roll that tractor up onto and then set it on top of that to prevent the diggers from having access. But since we are bordered along this whole stretch, hold on, it's going to keep going all the way to over there. That's all creek. That is all predator highway, because I check daily what their trails are doing. I check daily for footprints to see what's traversing. But our property is also kind of cool because not only are we bordered fully by this creek, we're bordered the rest of the way around by a road and then another road over here. So the predators have two choices. They can cross the road or they can use the creek. You have to be aware of your setting and who else is living close by that may also want to eat your chickens. And there's nothing I hate more than losing birds. So my tractors got parked, even though the design was pretty okay. The wheel design and that little 1.5 inch gap between the terrain and the bottom rail boards, I had losses. 1 a night from a juvenile fox. 1 massacre from raccoons. But since we skirted them and parked them and shored up that security, no losses. So, extra boys use it for now. And then I'll figure out how best to utilize the overflow stall with run. And then a feed can located nearby for convenience. And the end of a hose in here for instant water access. Think about everything you have to do every day for your birds and position as much as possible for the convenience level to reduce your hours per day of labor. But definitely avoid anything that's going to add to losses. Losses can get pretty expensive. All right, back to work.